I have 3 tabs open in Google Chrome and my computer sounds like it's about to explode. The problem is, I don't know which browser is the best. Everyone on the internet has different opinion. So I did the only logical thing. I downloaded every single one of them. And I'm on a mission to find the actual best browser. I have designed 3 torture tests. The install test, the cache burn test, and the speedrun test. Let's start with the first one. The first test is what I call the Annoyance index. The rules are pretty simple. I'm counting exactly how many clicks it takes from the moment I open the installer to the moment I can actually search cats on Google. Let's start with the baseline, the one we all know, Google Chrome. Now, the first 2 clicks won't count since they are all the same on every browser, but we are going to count every click inside the installer. First roadblock, sign in with Google. And I can't skip it without having to click either one of the options. That is our first click. Now it wants my default search engine. Since nothing is selected and the next button is grayed out, I have to pick one. That is additional 2 clicks. And of course there is another pop-up, click 4, and another one, click 5. So 5 clicks just to look at the website. I mean, it's not terrible. I would say that's a good baseline. Currently, Chrome is in first place, but we have 14 other browsers to test. And trust me, some of these are going to make Chrome look bad. But first, we have to talk about Arc. People on Twitter treat this browser like a religion. They say it's the future. Let's see how many clicks the future takes. So here we go. The installer is open. I mean, very fancy. Create an account. Excuse me? I haven't even seen the browser yet, and you want my email address. Is there a skip button? There is not. There is nothing. Are you kidding me? I literally cannot use this software without creating an account. This is already a disaster. Okay, I guess we have to fill out the form. And we are going to count every click we have to make. That is 6 clicks just to create an account. And seems like creating an account wasn't the only clicks it needed. Of course it wants us to import settings, and I literally cannot skip this. The next button is grayed out, so we have to make a selection. So that is additional 2 clicks here. Now some AI nonsense that I don't care about. That is another click and another click. Final count 13 clicks. 13. That is absolutely the worst. But I mean, I get it. They are trying to win customers by trying to be fancy, but I feel like asking me to create an account just to use a browser is a little too much. Arc is currently sitting in dead last place. I am already a little angry. But let's take a look at the browser people hate even more. Microsoft Edge. Edge is the browser you use to download Google Chrome when you buy a new PC, but Microsoft has been aggressively developing it lately. I am expecting this to be a nightmare. So here we go. It's downloading, it opens, and I see the search bar. I can just type. 0 clicks. I am genuinely suspicious right now. Did I break it? Why did it just let me in? Maybe because I am already on Windows, it just assumed it owns me. But I have to follow the rules of the test. Microsoft Edge, 0 clicks. Finally, another one that surprised me was Brave. I installed it and it opens. Now it asks us if we want to set Brave as a default browser, but we can actually skip it. We can access the address bar to search whatever, which means we are not entitled to answer these questions. So technically 0 clicks. This is how it should be done. Arc, take notes. But look, installation is something you only do once. Maybe you don't care about clicking 12 times if the browser is amazing. What about actually using the browser every day? We need to talk about money. And I don't mean the price of the browsers. These are all free. I mean your electricity bill. You see, every time you open a tab, your computer has to do math. Your CPU has to think. Your GPU has to render pixels. That takes energy. And that energy comes from your wall outlet. And you pay for that energy. I believe that some of these browsers are so unoptimized, so heavy, that they are literally stealing money from your wallet every month. So I wanted to see how expensive is it to run the browser. On my second monitor, I am running a tool called Hardware Info 64. It tells me exactly how much wattage my CPU and GPU are pulling right now. So for example, on either idle, my CPU is pulling 15.1 watts and my CPU is idling at around 32 watts. That means we can use this formula. So on idle, my computer uses about 47 watts just to exist, which is around 9.7 euros per month. We are going to simulate a real human being with a short attention span. I'm opening 6 tabs on every browser for exactly 1 minute. Let's start with Firefox. Everyone says Firefox is lighter because it's not based on Chromium. It has its own engine called Quantum. Let's see if Quantum saves me money. So I ran the test and the results were pretty average. To run Firefox monthly, it's going to cost you around 4.5 euros per month, which makes it around 54 euros per year. That is the price of a AAA video game on sale, just to run a browser. Now let's test it against the biggest Firefox competitor, which is of course Google Chrome. So I ran the exact same test and the results were actually surprising. Chrome is going to cost you around 4.28 euros per month, which is surprisingly cheaper than Firefox. Firefox is burning more coal than Chrome. I mean, it's not a huge difference, but it is definitely not lighter. But what about the previous winner, Brave? It shared the first place in our previous test with Edge, but how much power does it consume? I ran the test, I looked at the usage. It's the most optimized browser there is. It costs around 3.2 euros per month to run, which makes it around 40 euros per year. I mean, it must be the ad blocker. It stops all the junk from loading so your CPU can actually sleep. It saves you 14 euros a year compared to Firefox. That is a free lunch. Now, let's test something completely different. Opera GX. This is the gamer browser. It has RAM limiters, CPU limiters, and even network throttling. But I'm running it stock, just like a normal user would. Wait, listen to this. It makes typing sounds. And it makes sounds when I close tabs. But does it mean that all that gamer fluff is going to cost you more money? I ran the test and oh my god. Opera GX costs 5 euros and 42 cents per month. That is nearly 65 euros per year. Think about that. You are paying 65 euros every single year just to have a browser make clicky sounds and look red. That is 25 euros more than Brave. You are literally burning money for looks. Okay, we have tested Annoyance, we have tested money, but there is one thing left. The thing we enthusiasts care about the most, speed. I want my pages to load instantly. So we are running Speedometer 3.0 from BrowserBench. We want high score. Higher is better. First, let's talk about the failures. I tried to run this test on Tor browser. Tor started the tests and then it crashed. Error. I tried it again. Error. Tor is so locked down, so paranoid about scripts that it literally refuses to run the benchmark. It thinks the benchmark is a hacker trying to hack me, which can be a good thing, but on this instance, Tor gets disqualified. Same thing with LibreWolf. It is the hardened version of Firefox. It also refuse to run. So if you care about raw performance benchmarks, the privacy extremists are not for you. They are disqualified. Now let's talk about Chromium. This is the open source base that, for example, Google Chrome and Edge are built on. You would think that it would be fast because it has no Google bloat, right? It's just pure code. I ran the test and the score 26.6. That is slow. That is surprisingly slow. So it turns out that all that bloat that Google and Microsoft had, a lot of it is optimization. The raw Chromium engine is actually kind of dumb. It needs the engineers to tune it. Now let's look at Firefox. The Rebel score 32.6. I mean, it's okay. It's respectable. It is definitely faster than raw Chromium, but it's not setting the world on fire. It feels smooth, but the math says it is lagging behind the big dogs. Now let's try Brave. It has won everything so far, but can it win speed? Score 38.2. 2. That is a pretty good score. I mean, it's snappy and it's almost 20% faster than Firefox, but it's not the fastest. Now the king, Google Chrome, score 41. That is why Chrome is number 1. Despite the above average memory usage, despite a little more clicks to install, the engineers at Google are doing their job well. They know how to make code fly. 41 is a score that you can feel. Everything is, I would say, even instant. But there is one more. The browser I expected to hate, Microsoft Edge. I ran the test and it hit 42.5. I ran it again just to be sure. 43.8. Microsoft Edge is the fastest browser on the planet right now. It beats Chrome and it destroys Firefox. It seems that while Edge is sucking up all that extra electricity we saw in the last round, it is converting it directly into horsepower. So we have all the data. I have put everything into a giant spreadsheet. 15 browsers. Let's start with the loser. The L goes to Arc. It breaks my heart because the browser itself actually looks pretty, but it's nightmare to install. It is kind of expensive to run and its speed is just average. It is basically a Ferrari with Toyota engine in it. In the middle of the pack, we have Firefox and Chrome. They are average. They didn't win anything, but they didn't fail anything too badly. They are just fine. Now in the top 3. In the 3rd place, Yandex Browser. I know, I was shocked too. It scored 31 points. It was surprisingly balanced. Good install, okay speeds, and okay power. I don't know if I would trust it with my secrets, but technically, I mean, it's solid. In the 2nd place, Microsoft Edge, 36 points. It is the speed king. It is the install king. It only lost the gold medal because it failed the money test. It just requires a little more power to run than others. And finally, the winner, the ultimate browser, with 38 points. It is Brave. It is undeniable. It had a perfect installation score. It had the best power efficiency by a mile, saving you real money. And it had a pretty good speed score of 38.75. Mathematically, scientifically, Brave is the best browser you can put on your computer. But I gotta be honest here. The numbers say I should switch to Brave. And if you want to save money and have a quiet PC, you absolutely should. I mean, it is the smart choice. But I like speed. I saw that 43.15 score on Edge and I can't get it out of my head. I never thought I would say this. I have spent years making fun of Internet Explorer, but I think I might switch to Edge. I don't care about the €4 a year in extra electricity. I want that raw speed. I like to go fast. So uninstall Arc, uninstall Opera GX unless you like red lights, install Brave if you are smart, and install Edge if you are impatient like me.